tell you thought you owned the place. The words that you said, the 2 steps ahead. Well, your way to play was widespread. Take a chance, you said, with quite the charm. And then you got me unharmed. Bet you thought you'd screw me over, but you do no harm. If you don't like what you find, don't feel obliged. There's a line waiting right behind. Now if you want, we can fight. I've got all night if I'm not all that exciting. Fine. Don't think you're burning me. I'm free and fine. See, got other places to be. If you don't like what you find, don't feel obliged. There's a line waiting right behind. Now we've had some fun, but I'm not the one. Since you walk over me when you're done, it's not what I seek, and I won't be weak. I won't let you hush me when I speak. Take a chance, you said, with quite the charm. And then you got me unharmed. Bet you thought you'd screw me over, but you'll do no harm. If you don't like what you find, don't feel obliged. There's a line waiting right behind. Now if you want, we can fight. I've got all night if I'm not all that exciting. Fine. Don't think you're burning me. I'm free and fine. See, got other places to be. If you don't like what you find, don't feel obliged. There's a line waiting right behind. If you don't like what you find, don't feel obliged. There's a line waiting right behind. Now if you want, we can fight. I've got all night if I'm not all that exciting. Fine. Don't think you're burning me. I'm free and fine. See, got other places to be. If you don't like what you find, don't feel obliged.
A little bit better, one day at a time. That's what it takes. I mean, there's no giant leaps. There's no magic potion. Lose 5 pounds in 3 days. No way. Become more flexible overnight. No way. A little more flexible maybe. But it is all building blocks. It's all built upon doing little things every single day to make you better, stronger, faster, more flexible, more mobile, and stronger. And that is what we are here to do. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. This is where you do it in the privacy of your own home. It's an hour-long practice. Every day is different. Take it, for what it benefits you. Don't make you do the yoga that doesn't work for you. Don't strive to do a pose that doesn't feel right in your body. Never do anything that doesn't feel right that causes you pain. Do what is right for your body, but do. Focus on that word. Just do. Maybe you do it to 10%. Maybe you do it to 3%, but just give it a little bit of a try. Every day is different. All of our practices are different. Check them out. All right, the one thing is the same. Don't hurt your body. That's the only thing that remains the same. And show up. That's the other thing that remains the same. So please be here and enjoy your practice and don't hurt yourself. All right, what we're going to focus on today, it's full body always, because strength and mobility and flexibility, it all works together. But we're going to focus a little bit on the shoulders. You'll see. Do what you can. Ease off the pressure and just have fun. Grab your props. You might want 2 yoga blocks, a strap, a little towel, and your eye shade, and some water. Those are the usual props we use. You use them to make the practice work for you. All right, think about this. New Year's resolutions, how are those coming along? Oh my goodness. Let those resolutions become routine, habit. Let your yoga become a good habit. Then before you know it, that routine becomes a ritual, something that you honor and really look forward to. So go from resolutions to routines to rituals. And as you do that, you got to think of a word. And we always think of a word every day. And the word we're thinking of today is fresh. Fresh, fresh, fresh. There you go, it's fresh. Fresh means new, no baggage, no doubts. Be excited about something and be invigorated. Let's have some fun. All right, let's come on up to standing. All right, as I mentioned, we're going to focus a little bit on the shoulders today. You'll see, it'll come into play. But as you come to standing, lock a stress number into your head, into your mind. What are you doing stress-wise? How are you feeling in your body today? Give it a number scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever it is. It's good. All right, let's root into the earth. Feet at about hip-width distance apart. Real simple. We're starting with the shoulders. Let's start with the shoulders. Do some shrugs. Shoulders up and roll them back. All right, you can do that, right? Now, you can be seated in a chair. A chair is a great prop, too. Roll your shoulders back and do it kind of quickly, and then roll them forward. That always feels awkward to me, but just move your shoulders. Juice them on up. Get them lubricated. Get the shoulders feeling good. Shoulder shrugs back, because that's more comfortable and just feels right. All right, go ahead and settle the shoulders away from the ears. Oftentimes I say, don't think of your shoulders as earrings. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Let them drop down. Let your arms be heavy down by your sides. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Let the tension go. All right, now let's shrug the shoulders up to the ears and come up onto the balls of the feet and then down. So back and forth, shoulders come up. Think of like your shoulders connected to your feet. Shoulders up to the ears, heels come up. Shoulders down, heels go down. You can have a chair here. It's always good to have good, strong balance. That's what we're working on. And don't worry about using the props. Props are good. All right, up on the toes, shoulders come up, shoulders release, heels come down. All right, come on down. Solid feet. Hands to your hips. Feet hip-width distance or a little bit wider apart. Squeeze your elbows to the back of the room. Feel your chest lift up. Take a pose of confidence. Elbows are wide. Try to pick up space. Be broad here. Chest is lifted. Big inhales. Big sighing exhales. With your thumbs kind of pressed into your waist or your low back, push it a little bit forward, a little more forward. Breathe in. Breathe out. Big confidence pose. Shoulders are back and away from the ears. Release your arms down by your sides. Cross body reaches. Good for your brain. Like you're picking apples. Imagine that. Reach one arm across the body, then the other. Let the foot of the reaching side come up onto the ball of that foot. Breathe, stretch. Reach like you're trying to pick an apple in a tree that's just a little bit too far away. Maybe tap the toes. Breathe, cross body. And then let's finish. Come on back to standing. Come back to a neutral position, shoulders over your hips. Take a interlaced fingers position. Take your hands, interlace your fingers behind your low back, and then push your thumbs into your low back. Shoulders are back and away from your ears. Really tight pose here. Take a baby back bend. Look up to where the sky or to where the ceiling and the wall meet, or look up to the sky. Let your hands slide down a little bit lower, and then exhale the air out of your lungs. Fold forward and take a forward fold. Let your interlaced fingers go up to the sky. Put a gentle bend in your knees. No need to lock them out. Reach your hands a little bit higher. Inhale, rise up. Take that little back bend, letting the hands elevate her down your bottom. Look up. Exhale. Fold forward. Interlaced fingers. Work a smidge higher up to the sky as your gaze goes back towards your belly button. And then finish. Float on back up. Keep your hands interlaced behind your low back. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Release the hands from the low back. Tee out your arms and do some big arm circles. All right, now instead of doing arm circles like we normally do, let's change it up a little bit. Think of big windmills in the arms. Do them separately. And just pedal them to the back, or like you're doing a backstroke in swimming, right? All right, so keep the shoulders going. If it doesn't feel good, here's an alternative, just kind of smaller circles. Do what feels right. No pressure, no stress. You're doing it your way. That's what counts. Let's take that windmill arms and do them in the opposite direction. Nice job. All right, as you're ready, let's let the arms float down by your sides. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Let's not forget our knees. Put a little bend in your knees like you do in chair pose. Put a little bend in your knees and just put a little bounce here. A little bit of a bounce. And as you do this, let's take our arms and reach them forward. So there you are in chair pose, Utkatasana. We just slid into that, didn't we? All right, the arms. Let's sweep the right arm under the left. Keep your little bounce going in your legs. Place your palms to touch. Squeeze your elbows down and look over your fingers. Keep the little bounce going in the legs. Breathe. Squeeze. Shoulders away from the ears and shoulders to the side of the room. Release your arms. Send them back out to parallel to each other, reaching toward the front of the room. Take the opposite arm. Let the right arm sweep under the left this time. Palms touch, elbows down. Gaze over your fingertips. Breathe. Squeeze the elbows down. Squeeze the shoulders out. Finish, rise on up to standing. Let your arms be down by your sides. Shake them out a little bit. Take a deep breath in and a big sighing breath out. All right, palms together, arms extended. Interlace your fingers. Again, get comfortable in your stance. Do some big sideways figure eights. All right, kind of like that infinity symbol, right? All right, keep moving. Hello to Connell. It's stormy where you are. Hi, Diane. It's snowy. Marietta, it's sunny. Yay. Tammy, snow. Tyrone, snow. Liz, stormy. Betty, cloudy. Oh my gosh, but there's sunshine in our hearts, right? Sounds a little corny, but I mean, let it be. Put a smile on your face. Be glad for your movement. How are those large figure eights coming? Make them a wee bit bigger. All right. Let's finish. Bring your hands down to your hips. Squeeze your elbows back to the back of the room. Really squeeze them, chest is lifted. Take a big breath in. Let your thumbs feel good on your low back here. Push into the low back. Take a deep breath in. And a big breath out. Big coat swing. Such a good pose because it's a little twist in your low back, and you want to have a controlled twist. You want to loosen up the low back too. Shoulders are down, arms are heavy down by your sides. Start to twist from side to side. As you take this twist, tap your hips, tap your backside, look over your shoulder. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just let stuff go. Enjoy your time on your mat. You're here, make the most of it. Don't have your head somewhere else. Enjoy what you're feeling in your body. It's really pretty marvelous how well you move. All right, let's finish up with that big coat swing and do ragdoll pose. Hands to opposite elbow creases. Lengthen up to the crown of your head and then fold forward. Take it slowly. Let your arms be heavy. Lengthen through your spine. Think of creating space in your low back. Let the crown of your head hang toward the earth. So loosen your neck and shake your neck. Breathe in, breathe out. As you exhale, hollow out your belly. Belly button goes to your spine. You feel like, wow, I can fold even more forward. All right, knees, feet, legs are hip-width distance apart. Crown of your head is hanging toward the earth. Shake your head a little bit and then start to sway your elbows back toward one knee, then the other. Put that bend in your knees and see how that feels. No better, no worse, it's just different. Ragdoll pose. If you sit too much, and we all sit way too much, stand up periodically and do your ragdoll pose. Why not? It takes you 30 seconds, and you'll feel so much better for it. All right, let's finish. Come back to stillness at the midline of your body. Your toes, lift them up, give them a wiggle. Your hands, release them to your mat and come on down to your knees for child's pose. All right, for just a second, How do you feel? Don't you feel better because you've moved a little bit? You feel better in your head, and that's so important. And your shoulders are starting to feel real good too. All right, for child's pose, a little differently today. Come to like a neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes under for a little baby toes pose here. Knees kind of together, not far apart. Send your hips back toward your heels. Push into your mat. Ooh, feel it in the toes. Feels pretty nice, huh? Bring your elbows down to the mat. Bring your forehead down to your mat, or use one of your blocks if you want to place your head onto the block. If that feels more accessible and more doable to you, go for it. All right, so elbows are bent. Bring your hands to a prayer position behind your head. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Little baby toes pose. We're going to do a full toes pose in a little bit, but we're just taking the feet a little different today. Our focus and our emphasis is on our shoulders. Oh, so many of us have trouble in the shoulders and the neck. Hopefully this will alleviate some of the tension there today and just give you more mobility. All right, so you're stretching out your triceps, the backs of your arms. Ankles are getting a little bit of a stretch. Toes are getting a stretch. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out through your mouth, and as you exhale, send your bottom more back towards your heels. Close your lips when you're ready and try to breathe in and out of your nose. If that doesn't work, don't sweat it. Breathe any way you like, but try to keep your breaths deep and long. Deep breath in and deep breath out. This is your child's pose. You can stay here as long as you like. You know, you don't have to keep up with anybody, right? You just got to do what's right for you. And you've got to make yourself a little bit better one day at a time. Take a deep breath in. Think of a positive mantra that you can tell yourself. Maybe today it's, I follow my bliss. I am happy. I am strong. Whatever it is, focus on that and treat yourself to a great practice for you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's take this to a puppy pose. All right, Piper did this earlier in the little countdown. Bring your forearms down to your mat. They're parallel to each other, hands spread wide. Adjust your knees. You're gonna probably have to send them back and a little bit wider. That's fine. Now try to bring your chest more down towards your mat. So your bottom, you're gonna feel like you do in cow pose. You're really gonna extend your bottom up to the sky. Maybe widen your arms a little bit and try to bring your chin, your chest down to your mat. You could always take your block. Think of the block as bringing the ground up to you and sink your chest onto that. Maybe that feels pretty good. You want to really feel your tailbone lifted. Slide your arms more forward, more back, whatever feels good. Knees a little bit wider, whatever it takes. Send your tailbone high and your chest low. So it's kind of like, you know, your puppies when they get down to play. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you're ready, let's come out of your little puppy pose. Come on up to a toes pose. All right, so tuck your toes, have your blocks nearby. You could take a block and put it behind your heels and have a seat on it. Totally up to you. You could sit on your heels directly. We did that little warm up in that baby toes pose and child's pose. So maybe this feels all right. We're gonna do something a little different with our arms today. All right, so with your arms, bring your hands behind your low back and reach for opposite elbow creases. Kind of like when you're doing ragdoll pose. Now while you're here, send your shoulders back and down and away from your ears. Hold on here, maybe close your eyes and breathe. And this is an intense pose in the feet. If it is painful, come out of it. If it's just uncomfortable, and I think it's really uncomfortable, it always has been. If it's uncomfortable, just breathe through it. You know, just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do it. Do a lot of uncomfortable things, don't we? Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. How are your arms doing? All right, just start to turn your head left to right, maybe eyes open or closed. It's up to you. Turn your neck. Turn it good and far. Maybe even add your eyes in. Make your eyes look really, really far to the right when you're turning to the right. Then back to center to regroup, and then turn to the left and send your eyes really, really far back. Breathe. When you're ready, come back to center, tuck your chin to your chest, feel the goodness in the shoulders as you let them lower away from the ears, then send your chin up high to the sky and feel the tautness in the front of your neck. And tuck your chin and lift your head. All right, how are you doing with this pose here? Let's take our arms, send them parallel to each other like we do in chair pose. Now tee them out nice and wide, pressing the backs of your palms to the back of the room like you do in the You Will Look Taller pose. We'll do that today too. Crisscross your arms in front of your body, elbows cross and meet, reach your fingers toward your spine, soften the shoulders away from the ears and expand your shoulders wide to the side of the room. Tight, tight hug. Do it again. Tee out your arms. Push the palms back. Crisscross the arms in front with the opposite arm on top. Do you remember which one was which? Reach your fingers towards your spine. Soften in the shoulders. Expand through the shoulders. Nice, tight hug. And your mind is off of your feet, right? I hope so. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Lift your toes up. Squeeze and scrunch them. Get the blood flowing again. Circle the ankles and tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. Place your feet onto your mat. Send your hips back to sit on your heels. How is that? You could use your blocks to bring the ground up to you and come back to sit on the tops of your feet. All right, your knees are staying together. Use your blocks to push into the ground or no blocks at all. Hang out here for a little bit as we stretch our ankles. Hands to prayer center maybe. Or they can be a little kickstand down by your sides. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You can do this yoga. You do this yoga because you do it your way. You modify for you. All right, hands to prayer center. And as you're ready, let's come on back down to a neutral tabletop. In your neutral tabletop, let's tap the tops of the feet out again as we go into our cat-cow pose. All right, neutral tabletop, shoulder over wrists, knees under hips, spine is long, crown of the head to the front of the room, and tailbone going to the back of the room. Nice flat back. You could set a cup of coffee on it. Exhale the air out of your lungs. Tuck your chin to your chest. Tuck your tailbone under. Inhale, cow pose, reminiscent of that puppy pose just a few minutes ago. Lift the crown of the head and your tailbone. Go ahead, back and forth. Cat to cow. Cat. Really breathe out. Hollow out the belly. Arch the back even more by pressing hard into your hands and your feet. Inhale, cow. Nice job. Neutral tabletop. Extend your right leg long. Press the ball of the right foot into your mat. Feel like you're in a runner's lunge. Really stretch out that calf. Let it feel awesome. All right, take it in layers. Lift the right leg up, then bend the right knee. Kind of act as if you're going to kick yourself in the bottom. Knee lifts a little higher maybe, and then cat pulling its tail. Take your left hand around, reach around and capture your right foot. So your hand is crossing the midline of your body, kind of like when we picked apples. You know, you cross the midline of your body with the opposite limb. Kick into your hand. Open up through the left shoulder and look over your left shoulder, or at least look to the left side of your mat or the left side of your room. Kick harder into your hand, and then place your knee down and hand down. Other side, left leg goes long. Push the ball of the foot into the mat. If you stay here, it's great. Lift the straightened leg up, bend that knee, a little bit of a kick to your bottom. If you'd like, take the right hand, reach around and capture your left foot. Kick into your hand. Oh, you feel the shoulders open up here. Look to the right, look over your shoulder if that feels good. Breathe, kick a little harder. And when you're ready, come on down. Knee down, hand down, even out with a cat-cow cycle. Breathe. And then let's finish. Let's get the spine good and long. All right, and the shoulders. We'll get back into it with a bird dog pose. So send your right leg long, lift it up, knee to hip height, extend the right leg long. You got this. Add in the left arm and reach far forward. Really push into the earth. It helps you keep your balance. We did this on Friday too. We do this in our Yoga Plus class where we do it on a bender ball. Ooh, find that unstable surface. Today it's more stable. We're reaching, we're strengthening. Now draw your toes towards your shins as you drive that heel to the back of the room. Hold on here, tightness in the low back, reach through the shoulder. Place the right hand down, or left hand down, right knee down. When you're ready, lift the left leg. Extend the left leg. Dial the left hip down. Push into the right foot. Right arm reaches long and strong to the front of the room. Toes point to begin, stretch it out, feel your low back. Shoulders are working here, lengthening, strengthening in the spine. You got it. Draw the toes toward the shin, left heel to the back of the room, stretch. Reach, stretch a little farther, you're strong, push into the earth. Finish, hand comes down, knee comes down, there you go. Let's slide down. No, let's not slide down. Let's do a thread the needle pose. All right, from your neutral tabletop. What you want to do is lift your right arm high to the sky, sweep it up to the sky, look up. As you exhale, bring the right hand under the left arm. Think of like threading a needle. The right arm is the needle, the left arm, you slide it on down. Slide it on down, bring your right shoulder down to the ground. Maybe you bring the ground up with that block. Bring your right cheek to the mat. This is a good application for that half-size block, because maybe you can't quite reach the ground, but the full-size block is a little too high. So that little thinner block might be a nice thing to get. So left arm is reaching high to the top of the room. Right arm, you're resting on that right shoulder as the right arm reaches long and strong to the left side of your mat with your palm up. Breathe. Maybe this left arm, you may have to adjust your knees a little bit. Left arm goes up to the sky and then bring it on back to your right hip. Lift that left shoulder higher to the sky. And then finish. Left arm up to the sky, left arm comes down and reaches far overhead. Dethread, unthread your needle by, as you're taking your inhale, you slide the arm back to a neutral tabletop while the right arm goes up to the sky. Place the right hand down. Let's do it on the other side, your left side. So from your neutral tabletop, lift your left arm up and twist. Look up to the arm that's raised, the left arm. Exhale, slide it on down. Thread the needle. Right arm reaches long to the top. Adjust your knees. Use your block if you want. No judgment zone. Doesn't matter how you get there. Doesn't matter how it looks. What matters is how it feels. You should feel a nice stretch in the shoulders here. Maybe the right arm reaches up to the sky. Maybe the right arm bends and you bring the back of the right hand to your left hip crease, driving that right shoulder maybe up higher to the sky. Breathe. Right arm goes back up to the sky. Right arm goes back to the starting position of the hand down, reaching to the top of the mat. Exhale, unthread your needle. Right shoulder over the right hand, left arm goes up, look up. Finish, hand comes down. Cat-cow to even everything out. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your belly button. Inhale, cow, tailbone and crown of the head lift. Grab a seat however you want. Maybe legs out, maybe crisscross applesauce. I'm gonna sit in a thunderbolt pose. That's just sitting back on my bottom. Find your towel or your strap. We're gonna do cow face pose, getting into the shoulders again. I'm gonna use the towel. Here's what you can do. All right, so full expression of cow face, which I cannot do. You would take your right arm or your left arm, whichever one, bend it, and hug the elbow in with the opposite hand. You can give yourself a pat on the back, and the fullest expression of cow face is to reach the other arm around and capture the fingers of each hand and hold and pull. All right, if you can't quite do it, use your towel. Bring the towel into the right hand, hug the elbow in, let the towel hang, sweep your left arm around and capture that towel wherever it is. Now think of flossing your teeth. You're gonna floss your shoulders. So pull on this towel, give it a good pull. Give it a good pull so you feel it in the tricep of the lifted arm. And just floss. No towel, no worry. Just take your hand and hug the elbow in and just rest here. All right, let's do it on the other side. So I'm gonna take the towel into my left hand now, reach around, capture it, tighten it up, and floss the shoulders here. Breathe. It's the most important part, breathe. All right, shoulders are getting loose, right? What's the one pose we do every day? We do a plank. We're gonna do it here today too. because plank strengthens your core and everything functions around your core. You got to have a strong core to do everything. All right, so you flossed your shoulders good and tight. Maybe you hugged the elbow in, whatever feels good in that tricep. Let's release and let's shrug the shoulders a few times, back and forward. Nice. All right. Plank pose. We're going to do we're going to do one plank today. We're going to do a side plank on one side and then the other side. Okay, so for your side plank, we're going to set a timer. We're going to set a 1 minute timer, so it's going to end up being 2 minutes. 1 minute, one side, 1 minute, the other. You don't have to do this. In the side plank, you got to make sure that you're nice and stable. In any plank, you got to make sure you're stable. That's having the wrists under the elbows, under the shoulders. You want a nice straight line. You don't want the elbows splayed out. That's too much stress on the elbows. You can do plank. You can do it any way you want. One of the ways is to lie flat on your back and raise your hands up to the sky, imagining like the ground is the ceiling. Try that plank on for size. You could take your knee plank if you know that that's better for you. You know, from that neutral tabletop, spread your knees a little bit, work your hands forward and hinge forward. Hinge forward so you feel the weight in your arms. You really want to feel the strength in your arms. So that's a variation too. You could drop down to your forearms. Think of that puppy pose with the tailbone high. You could send the weight more into your arms here. It's all good. I'm going to take a side plank, and there's even variations in the side plank. Here's how you could do it. Come down. You could do a high plank too if you want to do that. I'm going to come down to my elbow side plank. I'm going to bend my elbow so my elbow's under my shoulder and my forearm is parallel to the top of my mat. Fingers spread wide. And then you can send your top leg, your left leg along and be on your right knee. Totally fine. Lift the arm up, look up. It's all good. Or classic side pose, side plank. Zip the ankles up together. Press into the arm. Let's set a timer, Dwayne. And then send your left hip back so it's over the right hip. Left arm up to the sky. Maybe look up to your hand the whole time or periodically. Or maybe bring that hand down, let it be a kickstand. The timer's going on the TV, so you can time yourself if you want. We're 15 seconds in. Hold on here. Press into the earth. Keep your left hip back and your hips nice and lifted. Look up or not. Periodically try to look up. We're halfway there. Breathe. Hand down a little bit can be a nice break, or take a break. Come on down, take a rest. It's no big deal. Nobody's judging you. But then pop back up into the game. Got 15 seconds to go. Look up. Breathe. Maybe hand on your hip for a little variation. Keep your hips lifted. 10 seconds to go. 5, almost 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness, done. Like, come on down. How are you doing? What variation of plank did you do? Maybe you want to go a little bit longer as we do the other side for a minute. But you decide your way, always your way. Don't hurt. Biggest thing here I can emphasize is shoulder over the elbow for strength and stability. Legs long, knees bent. Let's go, Dwayne. Let's set that timer. Here we go. 1 minute. On this side, I'm going to press on up. Ankles glued together. Hold on here for a second. You know, little gains add up. A little bit better each day. Maybe bring the hand up. Maybe look up. Maybe be down on the knee. All right, we're 20 seconds in. Look up, breathe. You're stronger than you think. Give yourself credit. Hold on here. No problem with taking a little break. Coming down to that hip, taking a break, no big deal. Lift your hips a little higher, arm goes up, hold on here. Stability and strength. You got it. Shoulders are strong, and we are strengthening them even more. Got about 10 seconds to go. Come on, you got it. We're gonna lie down and right after this. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Woo! Come on down. How are you doing? That's your side plank. You did 2 minutes of it today or something like that. Don't sweat it. Whatever you did is good. Strong shoulders. Drink of water. All right, let's lie down. Next pose you're gonna love. You know this one. All right. Make your way down slowly. Maybe hands to prayer center. Tell yourself that mantra. What was it? I follow my bliss. I'm strong, I'm mobile. Come all the way down. Core is strong, you got it. All right, so this is gonna feel really good for your low back. Bend your knees, both knees. Lift them up towards your chest. Left hand under left knee, right hand under right knee. Let both knees stay glued together. Keep your elbows in towards your ribs. Rock to the right, then rock to the left. You're working your core, trust me. Maybe let the knees come all the way down to the earth, then back on up and all the way down to the earth on the other side. Rock back and forth, I don't know, a few times, maybe 5 times or more. But while you're here, know that your core is working and just focus on how good it feels in your low back. Breathe, most important thing. All right, how does that feel? All right, let's finish. Come back to the midline of your body. Send your legs long on your mat, stick pose. You know this one. All right, lift your arms up overhead. Maybe palms touch. Does that work for you? Maybe a little bend in the elbows feels better, or maybe you Y out your arms. Point the toes to the bottom. Maybe let one thumb cross over the other. Stretch and find length here. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, boat pose. You know that one, Navasana. Here's what you can do. You can use your strap. If you're comfortable with that, you can put the center of the strap under your feet and come into your boat pose. I'm gonna hold a low boat today. So let's start with the shoulders. Release your hands, arms parallel to each other. Just lift up a little bit, so maybe you're balancing on your low shoulder blades. Add in the legs, lift them up and hold. Stretch, find length here. It's almost like a scoop. Your body scooped out like a little scoop. Pull the arms more toward the top of the mat. Let the feet go more toward the bottom of the mat. Breathe, hold here in your low boat pose. You got it. Strengthen the core. Hold on. Let's finish. Feet come down, arms come down, stick pose. Stretch the arms, cross the opposite thumb over the other thumb. Stretch, reach, find length. Point your toes. You got it. Another core pose. This one always sounds so easy, but it's so intense, and you control the intensity, like anything, right? Bend your knees. We're gonna do a dead bug. The dead bug variation we're doing today is lifting the knees over the hips and bringing the shins parallel to the earth. You really feel your tailbone plugged into your mat. Now take your hands and press your hands into your thighs. All right, easy peasy right there. But I mean push. Push your hands strong into your thighs and push your thighs strong back into your hands. Hold here in your dead bug pose. Shoulders away from the ears, shoulders are down on the mat. Arms are strong, pushing into the legs, while the legs are pushing hard back into the hands. Push. Core is so strong, you can bounce a quarter off your belly. Breathe. You got it. Stay here, stay strong. Push a little more, shake, embrace the shake, and then finish. Legs come down, arms reach high, stretch it out, stick pose. Breathe, let it go. All right, press on up. Use your hands or don't, you decide. Come on up and find your blocks. Let's do some lunges for the hips. Blocks by your sides. You're standing on your knees, right foot forward, knee over ankle. Using your blocks, stretch out your left leg. All right, push into the blocks. Shoulders up over the hips. Dwayne, could you move that sign, please? Take a deep breath in and a baby breath out as you take a baby back bend. Press your hands into your prayer center. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Hands can come back to your blocks or take another baby back bend. Lift up. Hands back to prayer center. Left leg, left hip flexors are really feeling this. Hands to the blocks, start to surf. Right leg bends and straightens. Take it deeper. Walk those blocks back. Sit on your heel, maybe, or not. You decide. You could put a towel under your left knee if that feels like you need to do it. Just surf. All right. Nice for the knees, isn't it? And nice for the hip flexors. Come back to the starting position. Bring your right knee down and your left foot forward. Left knee over left ankle. Press into your blocks so you can send that right leg super duper long on your mat. Top of the foot on the mat. Maybe press into the blocks, shoulders more over the hips. Arms sweep up, baby back bend if you want. Back up to the sky, exhale to prayer center. Breathe in, breathe out, do it again. Arms sweep up, arms go to the back of the room. Hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in and a sighing breath out. Hands to the blocks, start to surf. All you gotta do is straighten the left leg, everything else falls into place. Maybe walk the blocks back, then walk them forward. You don't have to sit on your heel. That just might be where you want to take it today. You decide, I'm going to take it back. And I'm going to walk it forward. You could ditch the blocks, hands to prayer center, or use them for some stability, that's fine. And then come on up. You're working your core too. And the knee and the hip flexors. It's all good. All right. There you go. Let's get back into the shoulders. All right, we're gonna do a downward facing dog. We're gonna do it a little differently. Bring both knees together on the mat. Put your two blocks at the top of your mat at a stable height. Bring your forearms down to your blocks. Tuck your back toes under. Send your hips high. Take a down dog here on your forearms. Feet are hip width distance apart. Heels slightly elevated. You're pressing into your blocks with your forearms. Start to pedal it out here in your feet. Take the dog for a walk, we say. Breathe, let your head hang heavy between those two blocks. Ease the tension in the shoulders. Finish up, still your feet. Walk your feet up to meet your hands, or take your hands onto those blocks, press into the blocks, and walk your hands back to meet your feet. Either way, roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Let's go into our familiar standing poses. Let's take a tree to begin. Root through your right foot, take your left foot, lift it and open the knee to the side of the room. Bring the sole of the left foot up into the standing leg. Maybe bring it higher, higher, higher. Maybe use a chair to keep your balance. Push the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. Don't put that foot on the knee. Hands to prayer center, look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Don't look at the TV. Don't look at anything that's moving. Maybe grow one branch or the other. Maybe sway your branches. Bring your hands back to prayer center. Guide the left knee to the front of the room. Plant the left foot next to the right. Other side. Root into your left leg. Weight out of the right. Open her up. Place the foot wherever you like. Use the chair however you like. It's all good. So tree pose. Take it to your level of expression. Shoulders over the hips. You are strong and rooted into that strong leg. Hands to prayer center. Remain there. Grow a branch if you like, or two branches. Sway them. Press the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. Hands back to prayer center. If you fall out, no big deal. Get right back in. Don't quit on a falling out note. Bring the knee to the front of the room. Have the right foot and left foot meet on your mat. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. You will look taller with this next pose. Legs are zipped up. Bring your body into the letter Y shape for you. Bend your elbows and bring the elbows down for the word W for will. Elbows in, 2 L's forward and back. Tee out your arms taller, pulse the hands to the back of the room. Now when you go through this again, I want you to feel what you feel along your spine. You will look taller. Big thing is to squeeze the backs of the hands to the back of the room. If you're just kind of hanging out there, you're not going to feel as good. Do it again. You will look. T for taller. You got it. All right. Arms down by your sides. Bring your legs a little bit wider apart. Arms together, palms together. Start to do a big figure 8. Move the hips, move the shoulders, big figure 8. We're going to go into Pasarita Padahastasana with interlaced fingers. What does that mean? All right, you know the pose. We do it often. All right, so here's the deal. Release your hands. Arms down by your side. Spread your legs good and super wide so your pinky toes are toward the short sides of your mat. Tee out your arms, lengthen up to the crown of your head, fold forward. As you fold forward here, now take your hands, interlace your fingers behind your low back. Now your thumbs could be pressed into your low back, that's okay. But what I'd like you to do now is put a little bit of softness in your knees and then take your interlaced fingers up the back wall, maybe up toward the sky as you look back through your legs. Shoulders a little bit higher, hands a little bit higher. Find more mobility in your shoulders, you got it. And then let's finish. Hands back to your low back, undo it in layers. Tee out your arms, rise on up to standing. All right, nice job. Let's bring our legs together. Let's fold in half. Let's walk our hands forward, 4. Remember we did that down dog on the blocks? Very similar, let's walk our hands forward, but no blocks this time. Feet go back for your down dog on your forearms. All right, now take your forearms, come down to your forearms. Elbows under your shoulders, hips remain high, hold it here. This is an alternative, to your downward facing dog when your arms are straight. Start to pedal it out. Find strength in your upper body. And then let's finish. Bend your knees and hover your knees a little bit above the mat. Bring your knees all the way down and come to a seated position. Legs go long on your mat. Lengthen up through your arms, seated forward fold. We know this one. Reach your arms forward, toes up toward the sky. Reach your arms forward, reach them more forward. All right, think about how you felt when you did ragdoll pose. You have space in your low back. You're creating more space in your low back. Reach, reach, reach. Now look down toward your knees and let your hands come down to your ankles. Hug your elbows in and fold a little bit more here. It's like a standing forward fold, very similar. Breathe in, soften the shoulders, breathe out. Come on up to seated. Shoulders over your hips. Send your legs good and wide. Reach your arms forward. You could use a block or 2 if you want. And press the block forward. Just kind of nice to slide the block forward. You don't have to use a block. You could just use your hands. Stretch it out here. Maybe a little bend in your knees feels better. Breathe in, hollow out the belly, and maybe come down more. Now, your forearms. We've been coming down onto those a lot. Can you kind of bounce down to your forearms? Can you come down to your forearms and hold? When you're ready, let's press on up out of this pose. Come on up to seated. Bring your legs together. Sit however you like. I'm just going to sit with my legs extended. Tee out your arms. Big hug. Let the right arm cross over the left. Cross the elbows. Bring your hands toward the spine. Shoulders are up by your ears. Soften them and expand them. There you go. There's your big hug. All right, when you're ready, remember what arm's on top. Let's do the opposite. Tee out your arms. Really send them back. Then crisscross with the opposite arm on top, hands toward opposite shoulders. And then when you're ready, soften in the shoulders, nice tight squeeze in your big hug. All right, let's do something else for the shoulders. Send your arms up high to the sky. Work your arms, so like you do in chair pose, so they're, about a 45-degree angle. Sweep your right arm under your left. We're doing eagle arms here. Bring your palms together to touch and squeeze your elbows down. If that just isn't cutting it today, here's what you could do. Hands crisscross in front to opposite shoulders. Totally fine. Rest here at Prayer Center and tell yourself your mantra, I follow my bliss. All right? So when you're doing this, squeeze your elbows down as we always do in eagle arms, and then look over your fingertips. When you're ready, arms come out again and sweep the opposite arm under. Palms touch, squeeze the elbows down, and look over your fingertips. Breathe. There you go. Sweep your arms up, high to the sky. Exhale, reach forward, reach for your feet, your ankles, and take that forward fold again. All right, come on up, shoulders over hips. Let's go to a cobra pose. All right, so come on down to your belly. In your cobra pose, let's start with Sphinx. All right, that's a little kinder and gentler. Send your legs long on your mat. Tops of your feet are on your mat. Elbows again under the shoulders, forearms pressed into the mat, parallel to the sides of your mat. Lengthen through your spine and hold here. Gaze down your nose. Lift your head. Feel the compression in your low back and just strengthen here. Strengthen in the shoulders by pushing hard into the earth. There's your Sphinx pose. Let's take it to a cobra pose. To do that, work your legs together. Big toes touching, tops of your feet pressed into your mat. Slip and slide your arms down about 8 inches underneath your collarbones. Squeeze your elbows in towards your sides. Nose, chin, down on your mat. Forehead down on your mat. Your neck is nice and neutral. Soften in the shoulders. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you're ready, gaze forward to the top edge of your mat. Press the tops of your feet into your mat. Lift on up a little higher. Squeeze your shoulders toward your spine. Lift your hands a little or a lot. Maybe your balance on your fingers. Squeeze your elbows toward your spine. Now squeeze your elbows down towards your feet. Hold it here. And then come on down. When you're ready, arms go down by your sides, shoulders away from your ears. Release your fingers more toward the bottom of your mat. Flip your hands so your palms are face down. Spread your legs a little bit wider so they just feel right. Lift out of the head, lift out of the arms, reach your fingers back for an airplane pose. Lift a little higher, maybe even lift your legs. Breathe. Finish. Hands come back under your collarbones, feet come down. Press into your arms, straighten up through the elbows. Come on up to a standing on your knees position. Find a block, and we're gonna start on the left side. So bring your block to the outside of your left ankle. So we're gonna do a camel, but it's gonna be a gentle camel twist. Lift your arms up high to the sky. Take a little baby back bend. Bring your hands back down to your low back. Push your hips forward. Squeeze your elbows toward your spine. Push your hips more forward. With your left hand, find that block. A little twist here. Twist the torso toward the left side and find that block. Maybe lift the right arm up to the sky. Maybe you want to bring the block a little lower. That's good too. Maybe you want to ditch the block and reach for your heel. That's fine too. Look up. Let's finish. Slowly come up. Go back to the midline. Switch your block to the outside of the other ankle. Arms lift up, little baby back bend. Arms back up to center. Take your hands to your low back. Elbows squeeze towards your spine and hips come forward. Release the right hand down to find that block. Where is it? And when you're ready, left arm goes high, a little bit of a twist to the right side. Breathe. You found the block at whatever height suits you, or reach for the heel. Send your hips more forward. Reach. Slowly come back up. Bring your torso to the midline. Arms extend up. Little baby back bend. Arms back up. Hands to first center. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let it go. Come onto your back. Bridge pose. Find your eye shade and your towel and scoot them on up to the top of your mat. All right, come on down slowly. Soles of your feet on your mat. Come on down nice and slowly, maybe hands to prayer center, or if that's not for you today, walk them back. Just come on down nice and slowly. Feel it in your core. Feet together on your mat, not together, feet underneath your knees. All right, we're gonna go into bridge pose. Arms down by your sides, press your hips up. Tuck your shoulders under your back. Lift high in your bridge pose. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. All right, find your 2 blocks. Big shoulder pose here. Take your blocks, bring them to your mat, and you can have them at a high height. I'm gonna take them to a lesser height because I'm gonna stay here is for my final Shavasana pose. You could do a full supported fish with the blocks a little bit higher, medium height, or let's just stay here. You can do the other one later if you want. All right, so here's the deal. You got to find where this is right. Your bottom has to be down on your mat. This block that's vertical on your mat, you're going to move it. So scoot your legs on down and find where this feels good. A lot of people want to bring it really low. It's supposed to be between your shoulder blades. This block is between your shoulder blades. So come on down. Get it between your shoulder blades. The other block serves as a pillow for your head. Cover your eyes with your eye shade, arms down by your sides. Your bottom is down. All right, so I said we're going to combine this with final Shavasana. You can spread your legs a little bit, to feel comfortable here. If you prefer to skip fish and just do a classic final Shavasana, same pose, just not on the blocks. I just want to do one final farewell for the shoulders here as we open them up and breathe deeply and rest. You could also bend your knees here if you feel tension on your low back and just let the soles of the feet rest, or bring the soles of the feet to touch and let your knees open up. Maybe that feels like a nice, peaceful way to finish your practice today. Breathe in, breathe out. Be aware of your deep breaths. Appreciate your deep breaths. Soften the area between your eyebrows. And just be here, nowhere else. Don't worry about anything else. Just feel what you feel right now. The temperature, your mat. Be at peace, my friend. Soften the area between your eyebrows. And your remote control, if it's nearby, you can hit pause here and continue in your final Shavasana pose. And when you're ready to come out of your practice, just unpause and come back to where we are right now. Take a deep, refreshing breath in and a big letting it go sigh out. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. I'm going to send my legs along again. Circle the wrists and the ankles. Ooh, they worked hard in those interlaced fingers and figure eights and toes pose and ankle pose. Oh my goodness. Reach high overhead. Take a big good morning stretch. I love this stretch, especially on these blocks. Ooh, stretch it out. Your shoulders are strong. There is great mobility there. Hang out here for a little bit if you want for a couple breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. As you're ready, slowly bring the arms down and the knees bend. Roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Just roll off your blocks. It's more fun than trying to get up off of them. Bend your low arm. Rest your head on that bicep. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Repeat your mantra. I am at bliss. I am strong. I am flexible. I am mobile. And I am done. When you're ready, press on up to a comfortable seated position, whatever is comfortable for you. Today, there's a good puppy pose in your down dog. Hands to prayer center, eyes closed. Take a deep breath in and a big sighing breath out. Let it go because you feel good. Open your eyes. All right, you did it. 1 hour. Stress number when you started was what? Stress number now is what? You feel a lot better in your body. Move every single day. Very simple. A little bit better each and every day will make you way better come the end of the year. So just show up every day. I'll be here. Show up, do it, and get a little bit better. One pose at a time. Love you guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Bye. Good girl. She just knows when to come, doesn't she? Good girl. See you later. You're a good girl. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.